everybody, and welcome back to another episode of The Points of Articulation. My name's Dave, and if you're new to the channel, welcome. Today I'm looking at the Hot Wheels Star Wars Jabba Sail Barge. Now this ship made its first on-screen appearance in Star Wars Episode 6, The Return of the Jedi. And Jabba's Sail Barge, also known as the Katana, is one of the ships I always considered to be rare for the Hot Wheels line. You know, right at the top, I would say you have the ARC 170, the Inquisitor's TIE, Slave 1 and Jedi Starfighter 2-pack, and then there's other ones I'm sure I'm missing. But for me personally, the Katana was always up there, $30-something, $40-something. But thankfully, Hot Wheels has re-released it with the newest wave of Hot Wheels ships. And I'm very glad they did, because I could finally get my hands on one. And it's not too bad. It does have some issues, but on the whole, I'm very happy to have it in hand. For the size, it's a tad over 3 inches long, which is pretty good. Now everybody at home should know the drill. We're going to look at the mold, the paint, put it back on a stand, compare it to some other ships, and then we'll be done. So let's get moving. And now here we have the mold of Jabba's Sail Barge, and I have to say on the whole, this is a pretty nice ship, but it does have two major faults, and they both have to do with the proportions of the ship. First of all, the railing is way too big. It just looks ridiculous from certain angles. And then the ship itself, even though it looks good on the sides, it is very narrow. Now, I much prefer the titanium version, which I think is more accurate. As you can see, it's much wider. But to each his own, I guess. So, like always, we will go over the major sections of the ship, and then we'll get nice and close to see all the fine details this baby has to offer. So, up first, we have our forward and aft sail. Looking pretty good. Right here, it's hard to see. We do have our deck gun, the deck, our railing, which like I said is a little big, but it looks good. Then we have our armor and viewports on the main body. You can see all the beautiful detail there. Pretty nice. Right here, we have our engine section. Looking pretty good. Our steering vanes. Molded pretty good. I like that. Nice lines. Sweet. On the bottom, 2 rivets. Copyright crap, peg port for the stand, and look at all that great detail. Very nice. So we got a lot to look at, so let's get up close and personal with this baby. Now getting as close as I can, we will begin looking at the bottom of the ship. We have some beautiful pipes here, some nice recesses and line work, copyright crap, rusty rivet, some nice detailing. We have our connector port for the stand, a nice shiny rivet. And look at all those pipes and stuff. That is great. Moving to the back, we have a couple cylinders leading to the engine section. So let's go back to the front of the ship. And look at all this great detail. Beautifully done. Now we have our armor plating on the bottom, and then all our windows on the top. Just sort of look like dreidels. Yeah, pretty cool. But I love the detail on here. It's pretty nice. Now, I think it would have looked better with some black wash, but they tried to do it with the silver and orange. Didn't really work, but it does add a nice texture to it. Pretty awesome. I love the back here. Nice stuff. Get a little detailing for the engine section. Beautiful. You can see all the fine details here. Great stuff. And then coming back to the front. Pretty nice. And you can see that silver just reflects all the light. It's actually really nice. And speaking of silver, we have our steering vanes. Looking very cool. Like the detail on there. And of course on this side. Looking very nice. We have our railing, which is really big, but I do like the way it looks. Lots of negative space, which is awesome. And moving to the front of the ship. Pretty cool. I think that came out great. Then we do have our aft and forward sails. These are die cast. You can see some nice details underneath. It's hard to get the camera in there, but it looks beautiful. I actually like that quite a bit. And it's hard to make out, but we do have our deck gun, which is awesome. And from what I could tell, there's not much detail on the deck itself, if anything. It's hard to get a light in there, but you can see it's basically just flat. And now for the sails themselves. I always thought that they were flat, but they actually are rounded, and you can see that a little bit as the light is bouncing off. That is pretty nice. I do like that quite a bit. Almost like a pumpkin. Now, through my camera, or phone I should say, it's hard for me to see the detail, so I hope you guys can see it. But that is sharp. And this is all one piece. Pretty nice. I think the detailing on here is pretty good. And I love the interior of the sails. And also, the main body with the viewports and the armor. Great stuff. So that does it for the mold on the Jabba sail barge. I think this is a magnificent looking ship. Sure, it has some problems, but the detailing, especially where you're not even supposed to look, is amazing. I just love all the little doodads on the sides. Fantastic stuff. So now let's take a look at the paint. Oh, what up, paint job? We have about 6 different colors here. First one up is a nice gray on the main body. This part is die cast. So we have a nice paint job on here. Very cool. Now we do have some molded plastic gray for the railing section as well as the bottom. And they really did try to match it. As you can see, it's almost exactly the same. Pretty nice. Now moving on top of the gray we do have silver. And I guess we could say it's a rust or dark orange color on there. Looking really cool. I think that came out great. It's not exactly blackwash, but I accept it. I think it's awesome. Would have been cool if they put it on the railing too, but what are you going to do? Now in here, as we saw when I looked at the detail, there is a gun, and that is molded black plastic. And then, finally, we have the orange sails. And I do love the orange on here very much. I think it came out great. Nicely done. So that does it for the mold and the paint. So now let's put this baby back on a stand compared to some other ships, and then we'll be done. Now, just like most Hot Wheels ships we've seen, it comes with a translucent stand with the Hut symbol on there. Pretty cool. Peg it in the port like so. Hear that click. And just like that, you're good to go. And now for a quick size comparison. On the right hand side we have the Hot Wheels Jabba sail barge, and on the left we have the titanium version. Now I'm going to be honest, I think the mold on the titanium version on the left is much more accurate, but I love the paint on the Hot Wheels version. It's what I grew up remembering from all the Micro Machines toys, the gray and that bright orange. I love it. And here we have another case, ladies and gentlemen, where if you had the mold from the titanium with the paint from the Hot Wheels, in my opinion, you would have a perfect little sail barge. But regardless, I want to know from you at home, which ship do you prefer? Let me know in the comments below. And that does it today for my review of the Hot Wheels Star Wars Jabba sail barge. This vessel was first seen in Star Wars Episode 6, The Return of the Jedi, and for the ship's size, it is a tad over 3 inches long, which is pretty cool. Now I'm going to cut right to the chase. Is the mold perfect? Absolutely not. I think the proportions are way off. Having said that, the details are amazing. The sides of the vessel are beautiful, tons of detail. Underneath the ship has nice pipes and recesses and line work. To top it off, the sails have a nice curved structure like a gourd or a pumpkin, which is amazing. And if you look underneath those sails, there are tons of nice raised lines, very accurate to the film, and I think it looks great. And now to build upon that, we have a beautiful paint job. The nice dark gray and that bright orange really takes me back to when I used to play with Micro Machines. Very similar to that. Now on top of that, Hot Wheels doesn't necessarily use blackwash much. However, on this, they tried to do some dry brushing with some beautiful metallic silver and a dark orange or rust color, if you will, which I do think adds a lot of detail to the ship, which is awesome. And I can't forget to mention it does come with that awesome translucent stand, which helps it blend in with the rest of the collection, which is great. Now, if you're looking to buy this ship, it will cost you around $4.99 retail, depending on where you go. I recommend checking Amazon or eBay, but I have also seen pictures and people tell me that they are popping up in Walmart and also Target. So that's everything I have to say about this awesome looking ship today. I hope you enjoyed the review. If you did, hit that like button. And if you'd like to see new reviews every Thursday, subscribe. Again, thank you so much for watching. I really do appreciate it, and I'll see you next time. Bye, everybody.